This is Justin Stone from EliteBaseball.tv, also coming to you from the Majestic Coaches Corner. And today we're going to talk about a self-evaluation plan as hitters start their season. I get feedback from players, coaches, parents all the time at the beginning of the year, and they say, my son, my daughter is not hitting well. And that can mean a lot of different things. So what I've made up here is a 5-step self-evaluation checklist. And really we're going from the very most important topics down to the least important ones in terms of what makes up a successful hitter. So the 5 pieces are the same 5 things that we've talked about before on the blog and the podcast about what makes up a good hitter. Timing, pitch recognition, pitch selection, approach, and mechanics. So in each one of those areas, I'm going to talk briefly about how we can self-evaluate and really pinpoint what's holding a hitter back from having their best chance at the plate and their most success. Number 1 is timing. When I get out of that at bat, I need to go back to the dugout and ask myself, was I on time or did I feel rushed at some point? Was I early in the process? And that's usually a fairly rare one. So if a hitter automatically realizes, yeah, I'm fouling off balls later, I feel like the load process is being rushed, we need to start sooner. Next one, pitch recognition. Am I seeing the ball early out of the pitcher's hand? The earlier we can pick up spin rotation, the easier it is to make adjustments to off-speed pitches or pitches that have some sort of break on them. So next, pitch selection. Am I staying within my zone? And this goes along with approach quite a bit. These are married. So when I think of pitch selection, I'm also thinking of how that relates to different counts. I know what my strengths are as a hitter. I'm trying to maximize those strengths as a hitter early in the count, so I stay away from my weaknesses. If I can get a pitcher to make me chase his pitch, already we're getting ourselves out. So pitch selection is a big part of that. Approach. An approach means, am I staying within my hitting plan from count to count? Early and up in the count is going to change what I'm doing from being in a neutral or down in the count situation. Our zone tends to grow as we get down in the count. But still, I don't have to give in to a pitcher's pitch until I get 2 strikes on me. So as I'm evaluating this, if I'm giving in to a pitcher's pitch earlier in the count, I know again, I put myself in a negative situation where I'm potentially getting myself out. And mechanics. Although we spend a lot of time in the off-season talking about mechanics, working on our swing in the cage, in reality, mechanics is the least important part to what makes up a very good hitter. But there are sticking points in everybody's swing. And there are things that cause holes in people's swings that usually relate to the load stride process and what the body looks like at the foot down position. So we call this the setup. So are there issues with my body getting to that setup? Is my tempo too fast? Goes back to being rushed again early on in the load stride process. Is there some issue about me not using my strength from the ground? Am I firing from the top? Those are things that you should be able to go back to the dugout, evaluate, and feel. And then we can go through that process again in the on-deck circle where we're picking up release point timing, but also working on that mechanical cue. So I step into the batter's box and my body is ready to perform the test. So in each one of those 5 areas, we can do a very short checklist to identify and pinpoint what is causing the hitter trouble that's making it so they don't have the most success that they'd like to in the batter's box during a game. Now you can take that information, use it yourself, relay it to your coach or your private instructor, and you can really attack the deficiency in the game. I'm Justin Stone from EliteBaseball.tv, coming to you from the Majestic Coaches Corner. We'll see you next week on the field.